right, we're live on Dodgers Digest. Mike Nelson here with you with another edition of our watch-alongs. Thanks for hopping on, everybody. Today is Game 2 of the 3-game set between the Dodgers and the Cubs from Dodger Stadium. Of course, the Dodgers are still undefeated at home to kick off the 2025 season, right? 7-0 to start off the year at home. Kind of crazy stat. There was a rough road trip for the Dodgers, of course, last week going 2-4. But at home, still have yet to lose. And today, I like their chances again against the Chicago Cubs, who usually don't play very well on the road. They're always been a team that historically has been more dangerous at Wrigley Field, but on the road, they've always struggled. And today, Roki Sasaki going to get the start for the Dodgers. He looked really good in his last start last week against the Phillies. And this week, going up against the Cubs, right? Doing once a week. Roki Sasaki, who came over from Japan. Dodgers don't want to play him every 5 days. So he's going to be getting those once-a-week starts to kick off his Major League Baseball career as they try to kind of ease him in. Kind of what we saw with Yoshinobu Yamamoto last year, right? Only pitching once a week early in the season, and that's exactly what Roki Sasaki is going to do. Let's go through the lineups, though, for the Dodgers. Also for the Cubs, they got Ben Brown, a AAA pitcher, going today for he's going to be the starting pitcher today for the Cubs. Ben Brown, who has very little experience as well. So two inexperienced pitchers today. Hopefully a lot of runs. Yesterday was a pitcher's duel between Yamamoto and Matthew Boyd of the Cubs. Let's go through the Dodgers lineup. We got Shohei Ohtani leading off at DH. It was a rough day for Ohtani yesterday, going 0 for 4. We see if he can turn around today. And today was a big story also for Ohtani. He had a bullpen session. We heard Dave Roberts talking about that before today's game, talking about how he looked really good, throwing a lot of fastballs. They're trying to ramp him up to get him to pitch again for the first time in 2 years, right? He hasn't pitched since 2023, and it's going to be a big story when he eventually gets a chance to pitch for the Dodgers. So we got Ohtani leading off, Mookie Betts batting second, shortstop Freddie Freeman first base, batting third. Freeman had his bobblehead night yesterday. It was a rough day at the plate, though. Wasn't able to get a hit. Teoscar Hernández will be batting cleanup right fielder. Michael Conforto batting fifth. Left fielder Tommy Edman batting sixth. The second baseman Max Muncy batting seventh. He's a third baseman today. Andy Pajes, center fielder, batting eighth. Austin Barnes, the backup catcher, will be the number 9 hitter for the Dodgers, just like last Saturday. So it seems like Sasaki, in his starts, he's going to get a chance to pitch to Austin Barnes. We've seen that in previous years with Austin Barnes getting certain starts when a certain pitcher's on the mound. We saw that with Kershaw and Barnes. Both of them always kind of starting together, so maybe we're going to see that this year with Sasaki and Barnes. So the Cubs, we got Ian Happ leading off, left fielder. Batting second will be Kyle Tucker, right fielder. Then Seiya Suzuki, the designated hitter, batting third. The cleanup hitter will be Michael Busch, first baseman. And Dansby Swanson will be batting fifth, the shortstop. Then batting sixth, the return of Justin Turner. We know Justin Turner, longtime Dodger. So many years with the Dodgers, so many good memories. We didn't get a chance to see him play yesterday for the Cubs. Justin Turner, of course, going to be 40 years old this year, most likely at the near end of his career. Getting the start today for the Cubs, the third baseman, batting sixth. So we're going to probably see an ovation for sure for JT when he comes up to the plate at Dodger Stadium, because this guy, of course, is still loved by Dodger fans, even though it's been a couple years since he's been with the Dodgers, right? It's 2022. The last time we saw JT with the Dodgers, that was at his last game, Game 4 of the NLDS out in San Diego, where the Dodgers were knocked out of the playoffs. That was the last time we saw Justin Turner in a Dodgers jersey, and I believe he got the last out, too. If I'm not mistaken, I believe he was the last batter in that game. Definitely a tough way to end his Dodger career in a series that the Dodgers really, should have won that series, right? Playing against the San Diego Padres when the Dodgers were heavily favored. But batting seventh will be Nico Hoerner, the second baseman, and then batting eighth will be Pete Crow Armstrong, the center fielder, and then batting ninth will be the backup catcher for the Cubs, Carson Kelly. So it should be an interesting game with two young pitchers going at it, right? Sasaki has less than 5 games of Major League Baseball experience, and also Ben Brown for the Cubs has about 10, 12 games under his belt. So very little experience between both pitchers. We're going to see how it goes and see if there's a lot of runs. Because yesterday it was a low-scoring game. The Cubs only had one runner in scoring position the entire game, right? That's the kind of game it was. So we're going to take a quick break here on Dodgers Digest. We'll be right back with some Dodger baseball. We're back here on Dodgers Digest. Mike Nelson here with you, of course, going over today's game. It should be an interesting game between the Dodgers and the Cubs. Game 2 of this 3-game set. It's another perfect day out at Dodger Stadium. Warm weather. As we know, the Southern California doesn't have much of a spring, so it's already really nice weather out there at Dodger Stadium. Unlike last week when the Dodgers had to play in near freezing temperatures in Washington, D.C. and in Philadelphia. Both of those games were, both of those series were, weather played a factor in all those games. So in L.A., it's not like that at all. And I think it should be a game the Dodgers really going to be interested to see how Sasaki can build off the last start, right? Because he had a good start against the Phillies, 4 innings, pretty solid. And, after a really rough start to his career, right, Sasaki really struggled in Japan, then really struggled in his first start against the Tigers, right? Over here stateside, his first 2 starts were not very good for Roki Sasaki, but he's definitely started to feel a bit comfortable. I think, pitching once a week to start off his career is going to really help out, right? Because, he's only going to get 4 or 5 innings in, right? Because last week we saw, Dave Roberts pulled Sasaki pretty early, right? I think he had 65, 70 pitches, and he was out of the game. So I think we're going to see that again today. Dodgers bullpen that wasn't used very much yesterday because Yamamoto pitched 6 shutout innings. So they only had to use 3 innings of the bullpen, which is obviously really good because today probably going to have to use some more innings for sure. So we're ready to go at Dodgers Stadium. Sasaki's first pitch to Happ is down and away for ball 1. Ian Happ, the leadoff hitter, hitting under 200 for the Chicago Cubs. The homer and 8 RBI. It's been a slow start for Ian Happ. As the 1-0 pitch is down and away to make the count 2-0. So Sasaki, we saw a lot of problems with him, having command issues against the Tigers and Padres, right? So that will be the issue. See if that's an issue today. The 2-0 pitch is down and away, so it makes the count 3-0. So kind of a rough start for Sasaki, having a hard time finding the strike zone. Out in Philadelphia, we didn't see that at all. I mean, I think he had 1 or 2 walks the whole game, so didn't have any command issues in his third start. The 3-0 pitch is in there for strike 1. Off-speed pitch right there, but still, I think Sasaki has a not really, confident yet with the fastball, right? I think we haven't really seen that yet. The 3-1 pitch is going to be a fastball there, right to ground ball now to Freeman, and Sasaki covers first for the out. It was a fastball right down the middle that I think Sasaki's kind of breathing a sigh of relief that Happ did not get a better swing on that because it was a fastball right down the middle, and it was a ground ball to Freeman. But Sasaki did a good job covering first there on that ground out. So the first out of the game for the Cubs on a ground out from Ian Happ. Now Kyle Tucker will be the batter. Of course, Kyle Tucker, the only runner who made it to second base yesterday for the Cubs, right? Only one player on the whole team made it to second in that 3-0 win by the Dodgers. First pitch to Tucker is outside. Tucker leads Major League Baseball with 12 extra base hits, hitting .317. Tucker, of course, coming over from the Astros, a former World Series champion. 1-0 pitch is down and away, made the count 2-0. So, Tucker has a lot of experience. He's an elite hitter, going to be a free agent at the end of the year. Cubs gave up a lot to get him, but no agreement yet on a contract. We know the Cubs are not a team that's known to pay a lot for their players, so we'll see if Tucker sticks around. The 2-0 pitch is going to be hit to center field, and Pajes will make a nice play to make the out, going to his left. And it's 2 outs now here in the first inning. It's a good run there by the center fielder. Pajes going to his left there. Didn't go the wrong way, right? We saw that in Philadelphia with Pajes going the wrong way on a fly ball, but here he gets a good read on that ball and makes a perfect play. First pitch to Seiya Suzuki is inside to make the count 1-0. Seiya Suzuki, the designated hitter for the Cubs today. Came into the series hitting over 300, one of the hottest hitters in baseball. 1-0 pitch was a ground ball to the shortstop Betts. He'll go to first to Freeman for the out. We'll go to the bottom of the first inning with the score 0-0. here on Dodgers Digest. Mike Nelson here with you. We go to the bottom of the first inning. A perfect inning for Sasaki, getting a 1-2-3. Good start for the young pitcher. Now we'll get a chance to see Ben Brown, the starting pitcher for the Chicago Cubs, who comes into this game with a 7.71 ERA in his first two starts. It's been a rough start for the primarily AAA pitcher for the Chicago Cubs. Brown facing Ohtani. The first ball is going to be hit foul and out of play. So this is the kind of game where the Dodgers have to try to take advantage of, Brown's inexperience, right? I mean, the guy does not have very much Major League Baseball experience. He's had a rough go in his first few games. 0-1 pitch is outside to make the count 1-1. So you got to take advantage of a pitcher that is going to have a hard time facing one of the best lineups in baseball, right? Unlike yesterday, I think Matthew Boyd, as Ohtani will hit this ball foul up the first base line to make the count 1-2. Yesterday, we saw Matthew Boyd really felt comfortable from the beginning, right? And I think today the Dodgers have to try to make sure that Brown doesn't feel comfortable in the first few innings, right? They got to try to jump on him early and get into that Cubs bullpen. As Ohtani's set now, 1-2 pitch is down and away to make the count 2-2. Ohtani looking for his first hit of the series. It was a rough day for Ohtani. We've seen a few of those games this year from Ohtani where he's had a lot of strikeouts and not gotten on base. 2-2 pitch is going to be a ball that Ohtani will hit to center field for a base hit. As Ohtani reaches for the first time in this series, base hit, great way to start off today's game. And today, of course, Ohtani was on the mound doing a bullpen session, so there's always going to be that thought on how Ohtani will feel, doing both on the same day, right? He threw, I believe, 50 pitches today, around 30 to 50 pitches doing the bullpen session, and now has to play a baseball game, right? Mookie Betts, the batter, hitting .311 with a 6-game hit streak. One of the hottest hitters for the Dodgers to kick off the year. First pitch to Betts is in there for strike one. Fastball right down the middle. Might be the best pitch he'll get to hit in the whole at bat. We'll see. Because that was a fastball right down the pipe. The 0-1 pitch is upstairs to make the count 1-1. Another good crowd at Dodger Stadium. Yesterday, of course, was a total sellout with the Freddie Freeman bobblehead. But today, Saturday night, always a lot of fans in L.A. as Betts will foul that next pitch up the first base line out of play to make the count 1-2. Scoreless in the bottom of the first inning. Ohtani is at first base. Nobody out for the Dodgers. One-two pitch is going to be hit to left field, fly ball. Happ looks like he's going to get under this, and he does for the first out. As Happ throws it back into the infield just to make sure Ohtani doesn't tag up. So one out here in the bottom of the first inning, and Freddie Freeman will be the batter. Left-handed batter for the Dodgers. Kind of a rough day yesterday. Hitting .200 to kick off the year. Freeman missed a lot of games with the freak ankle injury. That, of course, forced him to miss the White House trip this past week. Wasn't able to board a plane. Dodgers didn't want him flying cross-country. That, of course, hurt his inflammation, so he didn't make the trip back east. First pitch to Freeman is fouled away to make the count 0-1. The 0-1 pitch to Freeman is a swing and a miss to make the count 0-2. Fastball right down the middle. You see Ben Brown kind of being aggressive early on with the Dodgers lineup, trying to turn up the heat, throwing 96, 97 with that fastball. So being aggressive early on, the Cubs starting pitcher. The 0-2 pitch is a fastball upstairs. Ohtani takes off for second. He's safe. Not a good throw from Carson Kelly. Low throw. Probably had a chance to get him, but because it was a late run from Ohtani, but it was not a good throw from Kelly. It was a low throw. So the Dodgers have a runner in scoring position for the first time in this game here in the first inning. The count is 1-2 to Freeman. 1-2 pitch is going to be grounded foul up the first base line. And we saw that last year all year long, right? Ohtani stealing bases, getting in scoring position as a leadoff, batter. A lot of times, he's going to get in the game and get on first, and nobody will be, ahead of him, right? So we see him create some more opportunities for him to steal. Freeman will hit this to right field. Tucker makes the out, and he throws it back into the infield as Ohtani gets back to second. Saw Kyle Tucker having a hard time seeing the ball with the sun kind of directly in his eyes. We know these late afternoon starts at Dodger Stadium always kind of play a role for sure with the fly balls, especially to right field and first base. The sun is hitting kind of right in your eyes. And Kyle Tucker not wearing sunglasses this afternoon, so he had a hard time seeing that, but he does make the out. And now Teoscar Hernández will be the batter. First pitch, Hernández is in there for strike one. Hernández hitting .281 to kick off the year. A 5-game hit streak, hitting .421 his last 5 games with 3 home runs. The 0-1 pitch is going to be hit foul and out of play to make the count 0-2. So if you're a Ben Brown, of course, you would love to get through this inning without any runs coming across, especially with the batter that's on deck. And, of course, coming up soon with Tommy Edman, right? You got Conforto on deck, and then you got Tommy Edman coming up after the one of the hottest hitters for sure in Major League Baseball. The 0-2 pitch is going to be upstairs to make the count 1-2. It's kind of interesting because both teams on the Dodgers and Cubs have a lot of hitters that are doing very well, right? You have Tommy Edman and Seiya Suzuki and Teoscar Hernández and Kyle Tucker. All these players are doing very well. One of the top hitters in all of the National League. 1-2 pitch is going to be hit foul and out of play. And that's what made yesterday's game so interesting, because yesterday the Cubs were held to just 2 hits. The Dodgers were held hitless too for the first 4 innings. So it was definitely both pitchers had great starts, Boyd and Yamamoto. 1-2 pitch is going to be hit foul and out of play as Teoscar Hernandez fighting off these pitches and driving up the pitch count on Ben Brown. Right, he's up to 19 pitches here in the first inning. I don't believe this guy is going to have a long outing. Probably the Cubs are going to be very careful with a young AAA pitcher, as Hernandez asked for time just to throw Brown off. And most likely, like I said, going to have a short leash on Ben Brown today, right? Don't think he'll go too deep, especially if he runs into trouble. And the Dodgers know that. They'd love to get to the Cubs bullpen earlier. 1-2 pitch is going to be hit up the middle. It's going to be a tough play for the second baseman Horner, and Hernandez will get in safe. So the Dodgers have runners at first and third with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. As Nico Horner tried to play that on a backhand, the second baseman, but it was just an impossible play. The ball was hit right up the middle, and Hernandez is able to beat out the throw. If this was, of course, when we still had the shift, most likely Hernandez would have been out, because most likely Horner would have been playing closer to second. But now, of course, with the new rules in place, you have to have your players, you have to have an infielder on each side, right? You can't have 2 infielders basically crowding second base. So that ball, that's why it was a base hit. First pitch to Conforto is inside for ball 1. So the Dodgers 90 feet away from taking the lead already in the first inning. Tommy Edman on deck for the Dodgers. Conforto hitting .220 to kick off the year with 2 homers and 5 RBI. The first pitch, this 1-0 pitch to Conforto is upstairs to make the count 2-0. The Brown is up to 22 pitches. 2-0 pitch is swung on and missed for strike 1. It was a ball down by his feet, but is able to, good off-speed pitch there from Brown, able to fool Conforto there. I think Conforto was probably looking for a fastball, but it clearly wasn't. 2-1 pitch is going to be upstairs. So they're going to say that's a strike. That was a questionable call from the umpire, and Conforto doesn't like the call either. As Conforto asked for time. If they had the ABS system like they had in spring training, I'm sure the Dodgers would be challenging this call because that pitch was upstairs, right? So big call from the umpire to make the count 2-2. Brown is up to 24 pitches in the first inning. Brown checks on Hernandez at first. He gets back in time. You saw yesterday Matthew Boyd, the starting pitcher for the Cubs, really was aggressive on the the runner at first. He almost picked off a couple Dodger base runners. See if Brown is the same tonight. 2-2 pitch to Conforto is in there for strike 3. So big strikeout for Ben Brown. The Dodgers lead first and third. We'll go to the second inning with the score 0-0. Back here on Dodgers Digest, Sasaki, starting pitcher for the Dodgers, score is 0-0 after the Dodgers left first and third in the first inning. Count goes to 0-1 to the batter Michael Busch, first baseman for the Cubs. 0-1 pitch to Busch is going to be swung on and missed to make the count 0-2. Of course, it's been a interesting few starts for Sasaki as the 0-2 pitch is outside to make the count 1-2. He's had, up and downs for sure. The second start only lasted, an inning and 2/3. And today, hopefully, you can go a little bit deeper than that right after his first start at Dodger Stadium. The 1-2 pitch is going to be no swing, a check swing from Busch, but they say no swing at third base. Third base umpire was very close. Count goes to 2-2. Looking at the replay, you kind of have to agree with the umpire there. You see it on the overhead cam, right? Umpire doesn't get access to that overhead camera angle on those check swings. So the count 2-2 to Michael Busch. 2-2 pitch is fouled away to keep the count 2-2. So nobody on, nobody out. Top of the second inning, the score is 0-0. The Dodgers left first and third with 2 outs after Conforto struck out looking. As Barnes will ask for time and actually go speak to Roki Sasaki. Not something you see very much in today's modern baseball. The catcher going to the pitcher, right, with the new system they use for the signs. But today, we're seeing a rare mound visit from the catcher, speaking to the young pitcher, Sasaki. So we're getting set to go now. 2-2 pitch to Bush, so he hit to left field. That's going way back. It's at the wall. It's gone. So Michael Busch gives the Cubs a 1-0 lead as the pitch was just left up and the ball just carried out very well out to left field. You know, we talked about it yesterday. Warm days at Dodger Stadium, the ball always carries better, as that pitch was just left way too high for the left-handed batter, Bush. And Bush did a good job, not trying to pull the pitch, right? As a left-handed batter, he went with it and put it out to left field. Pitch that was on the outside corner. And the first pitch to Dansby Swanson is outside to make the count 1-0. So rough, kind of a tough start today for Roki Sasaki, giving up the early lead with the home run to Michael Busch. 1-0 pitch to Swanson is down and away to make the count 2-0. Swanson with 4 home runs, 11 RBI to kick off his career. Or kick off this season, I should say. The 2-1 pitch is a 2-0 pitch is swung on and missed to make the count 2-1. Versus Swanson coming over from the Atlanta Braves. As now Swanson will ask for time. You still see that. I think it's something that Major League Baseball, is trying to get rid of, right? With the batters asking for time to throw pitchers off, but you still see batters do that all the time. The 2-1 pitch is going to be hit foul up the third base line. It'd be a big rule change if batters were not allowed to ask for time, I think, because it would definitely be an advantage for the pitchers, as the batters are always trying to throw the pitchers off of their rhythm by asking for time. The 2-2 pitch is going to be hit foul off of Swanson's leg. That's got to hurt. Swanson is limping around out there, but it seems like he's ready to go, but it's got to hurt as he's, trying to walk it off right after fouling that ball off of his foot. Count is 2-2, nobody on, nobody out. Cubs lead 1-0 after a home run for Michael Busch. 2-2 pitch is going to be swung on and missed, strikeout for Roki Sasaki on an off-speed pitch. Good pitch, good splitter from Sasaki right there, completely fooling Dansby Swanson, who looked like he was looking for a fastball there. And Swanson swang right through that pitch for a big strikeout. 1 out here in the top of the second. And now Justin Turner, former Dodger, comes to the plate. Everybody standing up, cheering for Turner. Kind of strange to see JT wearing a different jersey, right? Long-time Dodger. First pitch to Turner is going to be hit to the third baseman, Muncy. He'll throw it to first. We know Turner never had much speed, right? So that's an easy out for Muncy. And 2 outs now here in the top of the second. Nico Horner will be the batter now for the Cubs, the second baseman. But great to see, Turner still in Major League Baseball. Of course, spent time with the Red Sox, the Blue Jays, now his third team since leaving the Dodgers. First pitch to Horner is in there for strike 1. And Sasaki trying to work quick. You notice he's not trying to take much time between pitches. 0-1 pitch is going to be hit up the middle, but Edman's got it. Edman throws it over to Freeman at first. We will go to the bottom of the second inning with the Cubs leading 1-0. we're back here on Dodgers Digest. Mike Nelson here with you. We'll go to the bottom of the second inning with the Cubs leading 1-0 after Michael Busch got a solo shot there in the top of the second inning, taking advantage of a high pitch left by Roki Sasaki. Rough start for Sasaki. We'll see what he could do to settle down. It's been, of course, we've seen this before with Sasaki getting off to slow starts in his previous couple pitching starts, and now we see the umpire coming out to speak to Ben Brown. I'm not sure what the delay is or what the conversation is about. And it seems like we're set to play. It looks like there was a pitch clock malfunction. They're trying to figure out the pitch clock there. That's what Ben Brown was asking about, it seems like. So the first pitch to Tommy Edman is a swing and a miss to make the count 0-1. Tommy Edman, we talked about how important he's been to the Dodgers in this early season so far, this young 2025 season. The 0-1 pitch is going to be down and away to make the count 1-1. Tommy Edman is tied with a lot of players with 6 home runs, leading the major leagues. Got Aaron Judge, Mike Trout, Kyle Schwarber. All these players have 6 home runs for their respective teams as the 1-1 pitch is in there for strike 2. But I don't think anybody expected, the other names you can't be surprised, right? Schwarber, Trout, Judge, hitting 6 home runs, that's not a surprise. But Tommy Edman hitting 6, that's got to be a shock. 1-2 pitch is in there for strike 3, right down the middle, as Ben Brown picks up his second strikeout of the day. As that's the second time we've seen the Dodger hitters take a fastball down the middle there, kind of throwing the batter off. So now Max Muncy will be the hitter. Max Muncy took the day off yesterday. First pitch to Muncy is inside for ball 1. Muncy, of course, has had kind of a slow start to the 2025 season. Dave Roberts wanted to give Rojas a shot yesterday, and Rojas had a good day, picking up a couple hits. 1-0 pitch is going to be a check swing, but they're going to say that's a strike, as Muncy goes all the way on that swing. Hitting 174 to kick off the year with 2 RBI, 4 doubles, but it's definitely been a struggle for Max Muncy for the most part in this season. No home runs yet either. 1-1 pitch is going to be, ball is going to be hit up in the air, foul. We'll see if JT has a shot, but he doesn't, as it goes off of the netting there. But Justin Turner gave it a good run. Justin Turner having a moment there with Dodger fans, passing the ball over. Always Justin Turner brought a smile to the ballpark, right? He was always a very friendly player. I think that's what made him such a likable Dodger, right? As you see him smiling there at the fans and Dodger players. 1-2 pitch to Muncy is down and away to make the count 2-2. Of course, Justin Turner, grew up here in L.A., Long Beach. Was always a Dodger fan. 2-2 pitch is in there for strike 3 as Brown picks up his 3rd strikeout of the day, and that's the 2nd straight Dodger hitter to go down looking on strike 3, right? So kind of surprising what Ben Brown's doing so far. Doing a good job, the young pitcher. Probably having the best start of his Major League Baseball career so far. First pitch to Andy Pajes, the hitter for the Dodgers now, is fouled away. Pajes is the starting center fielder. Of course, Pajes has been getting a lot of playing time for the Dodgers, the young outfielder, with center field kind of being a position the Dodgers don't really have covered yet. As Pajes hits this to the second baseman Horner, they go to first for the out. We will go to the 3rd inning with the Cubs leading 1-0. back here on Dodgers Digest. Mike Nelson here with you. We'll go to the third inning with the Cubs leading 1-0 after a solo shot from Michael Busch back in the second inning. First pitch to Pete Crow Armstrong, the batter, is fouled away. Pete Crow Armstrong, the center fielder for the Cubs, hitting 200 to kick off the year with 6 stolen bases, though. It's tied for second in Major League Baseball. The 0-1 pitch to Crow Armstrong will be fouled away to make the count 0-2. It's been a good start so far for the Cubs starting pitcher, Ben Brown, getting 3 strikeouts so far. 0-2 pitch to Crow Armstrong is outside to make the count 1-2. Carson Kelly, the Cubs catcher, is on deck. The 1-2 pitch is upstairs to make the count 2-2. The 2-2 pitch is going to be popped up as Betts is in left field, but this is going to go to the left fielder, Conforto. He'll make the out. You see Mookie Betts always being a very active infielder, right? I mean, Mookie Betts is naturally an outfielder, so you always see him kind of ending up in the outfield every time there's a fly ball, right? Something to keep an eye on as we move along in this season, because Mookie Betts tends to go a little bit too deep, I think, into the outfield, like you just saw on that play. Now Carson Kelly will be the batter for the Cubs. First pitch to Kelly is down and away to make the count 1-0. Kelly hitting a .333 to kick off the year. A couple home runs, 10 RBI. It's been a good start for the Cubs catcher. 1-0 pitch is outside to make the count 2-0. Kind of crazy. He's hitting .333 and batting 9th in the lineup today. But as we know with modern baseball, it's not like, before, right? It's not at all. Philosophy has changed a lot. The 2-0 pitch is down and away to make the count 3-0. So Sasaki has 33 pitches so far. A 3-0 pitch is going to be in there for strike 1. Kelly was taken all the way. Outside of the one mistake to Busch that, strangely enough, happened right after a mound visit from catcher Austin Barnes. 3-1 pitch is fouled away to make the count 3-2. So it just goes to what I was saying. I mean, Roki Sasaki is a rhythm pitcher, right? This guy doesn't like take much time between the pitches. So we're going to see batters try to call time on him, try to throw him off, because that's the way, as you see Kelly ask for time right now. That's what they're going to do, probably, to try to throw Sasaki off, right? Because he doesn't pitch well when he's thrown off the rhythm. 3-2 pitch is fouled away. And that mound visit probably from Austin Barnes, his own teammate, kind of threw him off there, right? And the next pitch ends up being a mistake, and it leads to a home run. As we're set to go now, this 3-2 pitch. Outside for ball 4. So walk for Carson Kelly. Cubs have a runner at first. Ian Happ, the leadoff hitter, will come to the plate. Happ grounded out his first time up. So 1 out in the top of the third inning. Cubs are up 1-0. We'll see how Sasaki does second time to the lineup. Happ hitting .191 to start off the year. First pitch to Happ is in there for strike 1. Right on the inside corner. Great pitch there. Looked like a fastball. Good usage of the fastball there. And you see Sasaki's been using the fastball a little bit more in today's game. As that next pitch is not a fastball. Curveball outside to make the count 1-1. You've been seeing him kind of use that fastball a little bit more, trying to feel a bit more confident with it. Because early on in his career, he's been kind of depending on the splitter, right? That's been his one pitch that he's been using over and over again. But trying to use it the fastball a little bit more today. 1-1 pitch is going to be hit in between first and second for a base hit. And the Cubs have runners at first and second with 1 out. here in the top of the third inning as Happ gets a base hit. And now Kyle Tucker is coming up to the plate, one of the hottest hitters for the Cubs, and on deck is Seiya Suzuki. So nowhere really, you don't want to walk Tucker to get to Suzuki. So it's going to be a challenge here for Sasaki now, right? First and second, one out, top of the third, facing a dangerous hitter in Tucker, a guy that can hit the ball out of the ballpark, 5 home runs, 16 RBI, a plethora of baseball experience. First pitch to Tucker is outside to make the count 1-0. So, you're going to see Sasaki probably be a bit careful as he faces Tucker, not trying to, throw him anything he can hit out, right? Because, this is not a good matchup for him. The righty-lefty matchup, it's not the best case scenario. 1-0 pitch is down and away to make the count 2-0. See, the first 2 pitches have been completely out of the strike zone, not giving anything to hit to Tucker. Of course, Tucker, a 3-time All-Star, World Series champion with the Astros back in 22, and also was very important to that pennant-winning Astros team in 2021, the team that lost to the Nationals, right? 2-0 pitches upstairs to make the count 3-0. So 3 straight pitches from Sasaki, all in the outside corner, nowhere near the strike zone. Might as well just walk him here if you're the Dodgers, right? I think there's no reason to mess around here on a 3-0 pitch. I would just walk him. 3-0 pitch is going to be inside for strike 1, so able to get the call there. It was very close to being a ball, but they get the call there for strike 1. 44 pitches for Sasaki so far. The 3-1 pitch is going to be outside for ball 4. So the Cubs have loaded the bases after that walk from Tucker. Seiya Suzuki comes to the plate. You see Dodgers pitching coach Mark Pryor coming out to speak to Roki Sasaki, along with the interpreter coming out there to speak to Roki. And this is now, out of 3 out of 4 starts, we've seen Sasaki basically run into trouble, loading up the bases in those 3 starts early in the game. And most likely, I think the Dodgers are already going to see a bullpen pitcher warm up, right? I mean, this might be Sasaki's last inning, right? We saw the Dodgers pull Sasaki after 1 2/3 innings against the Tigers a couple weeks back. And potentially, I think Dave Roberts could kind of play the same kind of strategy here if Sasaki's pitch count goes up a bit too much, right? Because the Dodgers are being extra careful in how they manage Sasaki. They want to definitely learn from what happened last year with Yamamoto, him getting injured in early June and missing 3 months, basically for overusage, right? In that one game against the Yankees when he pitched 100 pitches, he was done after that. We didn't see him for 3 months, so don't think the Dodgers want that with Sasaki. As the first pitch to Suzuki is inside for ball 1. Suzuki hitting a .297 this season with 4 home runs. Looking for his first hit in this series. 1-0 pitch to Suzuki is hit up the middle right to Edman. As you saw Edman making a big play there, a big catch. As Edman was very close to the base, right? Just kind of bending the rules, right? On the shift rules. Not completely across second base, but kind of standing near second base and able to make the catch there. So that was the good usage of the shift rule there by the Dodgers, right? Not having Edman stand too far away from second, but standing just close enough so if a ball is hit up the middle, they're able to make the play. As the next pitch is the first pitch to Bush is in there for strike 1. As you know, Bush hit a home run his first time up. So 2 outs, bags loaded. Cubs are up 1-0. 0-1 pitch to Bush is outside to make the count 1-1. Big out there for the Dodgers with Edman standing very close to second. On a ball that could have been easily a base hit, right? A good swing from Suzuki. 1-1 pitch to Bush is outside to make the count 2-1. We're talking about how the last 5 games, Bush has had 2 home runs, 2 doubles at Dodger Stadium. So he's played very well. As Bush is going to hit this to center field, this is going way back. Pajes is at the wall. He'll make a great catch. What an amazing catch by Andy Pajes right at the wall, robbing a grand slam away from Michael Busch. What an amazing catch by the Dodgers center fielder. That easily could have been a grand slam, but he's able to make a leaping catch right at the wall in deep center field. And we'll go to the bottom of the third inning with the Cubs leaving the bases loaded, but still leading 1-0. Back here on Dodgers Digest, what an amazing play by Andy Pajes, robbing a grand slam from Michael Busch. As the Cubs lead 1-0 here in the bottom of the third inning. The batter is Austin Barnes. The count is now gone to 1-1. The 1-1 pitch is going to be in there for strike two to make the count 1-2. Austin Barnes, the number 9 hitter for the Dodgers. But what a great play by Andy Pajes, of course, out in center field, making a leaping catch. That ball goes over the wall. It's a grand slam. The Cubs are up 5-0 as Barnes swings and misses for the strikeout. As Ben Brown picks up his 4th strikeout of the afternoon. And yeah, looking at the replay from Andy Pajes, made a leaping catch right there at the top of the wall. And Michael Busch got a good swing on that pitch from Sasaki. Ohtani, the batter, first pitch to Ohtani is going to be hit to the second baseman Horner. He goes to first to get the out to the first baseman Busch. So 2 outs here in the bottom of the third inning. And Pajes doing a great job defensive. He's been, I think, very good. Maybe we could, criticize what he's done offensively for the Dodgers, right? Hitting under 200 to kick off his season. But defensively, he's made a lot of great plays out in center field. I think he's definitely Major League ready. First pitch to Mookie Betts. The batter is in there for strike one. Betts flew out his first time up, hitting .304 to kick off the year. 0-1 pitch to Betts is upstairs to make the count 1-1. So, like I said, Andy Pajes has done a lot of good things defensively out in center field, and that's what makes him, I think, a valuable player for the Dodgers, right? If they decide to trade him, as, of course, there's been rumors with that, like we've covered here on Dodgers Digest. 1-1 pitch is in there for strike two. Make sure to subscribe if you're watching us for the first time. We cover the Dodgers on a daily basis. We've got the Monday morning live streams. The 1-2 pitch is upstairs to make the count 2-2. And we got these watch-alongs and daily Dodger baseball coverage, so make sure to hit that subscribe button. Ben Brown's got 45 pitches so far for the Cubs. 2 outs in the bottom of the third, nobody on. Count is 2-2 to Mookie. 2-2 pitch is going to be hit to in between first and second, and a diving catch from Kyle Tucker. What a great play by the Cubs right fielder, as that was a shallow fly ball to right field, but Tucker makes an amazing catch there. So we'll go to the 4th inning with the Cubs leading 1-0. Here on Dodgers Digest, Mike Nelson here with you. We'll go to the 4th inning with the Cubs leading 1-0. Roki Sasaki facing Dansby Swanson. First pitch to Swanson is in there for strike 1. 52 pitches for Sasaki. He's got through a big jam in the 3rd inning, right? With the bases loaded. First, Seiya Suzuki hit a line drive up the middle, but Edman was standing very close to second base, playing the shift rule very close, right? Able to make a good catch, and then the deep fly ball from Bush that almost left the park. Almost went over the wall there, and Pajes made a great out, at the top of the wall. As the 0-1 pitch is in there for strike 2. Swanson the 197. The 0-2 pitch is going to be swung on and missed for strike 3, as Swanson swings right through that splitter, which we've seen Sasaki use primarily. Swanson strikes out for the 2nd time in today's game. I think Sasaki has been, a bit, not confident throwing the fastball, right? Because look what could happen throwing the fastball against Bush. The batter is Justin Turner upstairs. First pitch to Turner is upstairs to make the count 1-0. I think that's probably why Sasaki's been relying on the splitter, right? Not trying to throw fastballs that people can hit. As Turner will hit this deep to right field fastball, Hernandez makes a nice catch there near the wall, on that low wall there in right field, as Turner just narrowly misses hitting a home run. A nice catch there from Teoscar Hernández, the right fielder for the Dodgers. Would have been easily a ground rule double. Probably not a home run. Probably would have bounced before the wall, but it would have definitely been a ground rule double. As Nico Hoerner will be the batter. 2 outs in the top of the 4th inning. First pitch to Hoerner is upstairs for ball 1. But you see Cubs hitters getting good swings on Sasaki's pitches. And living dangerously so far, right? Roki Sasaki, the Dodgers starting pitcher. 1-0 pitch is going to be in there for strike 1 to make the count 1-1. So Justin Turner almost got an extra base hit. 1-1 pitch is inside. He made the count 2-1. Nico Horner hitting 298 this season for the Cubs. The Cubs second baseman. The 2-1 pitch is going to be hit to the shortstop Betts. He'll go to first for the out. We'll go to the bottom of the fourth inning with the Cubs leading 1-0. Go to the bottom of the fourth inning, live here on Dodgers Digest. Mike Nelson review. The Cubs are leading 1-0 after a Michael Busch solo shot. Both teams have a couple hits. The Cubs have been very close to adding on to their lead, though. The batter is Freddie Freeman. The first pitch to him is in there for strike one after a check swing. It's been a good start so far for Ben Brown, the Cubs starting pitcher. We'll see how he does second time to the lineup. 0-1 pitch to Freeman is fouled off of his foot. As Freeman stays in the batter's box. Doesn't seem like he fouled it off too hard then. Hitting 188 to kick off his season. The 0-2 pitch to Freeman is going to be down and away to make the count 1-2. The 1-2 pitch to Freeman is swung on and missed for strike three. So Freeman starts off his day going over 2. Ben Brown picks up his 5th strikeout of the night. It's been a solid start for the young Cubs pitcher. And, this could be definitely also a case of the Dodger hitters not having much homework on Ben Brown, right? They don't have much video to look at. They don't know much about him. And it was, as we know, with the analytics world being the way it is, the first pitch to Teoscar Hernandez, the batter is outside. I mean, to count 1-0. We know with the analytics world how it's very important tendencies from pitchers, right? And there isn't much tendencies to look at for Ben Brown. The 1-0 pitch is in there for strike one. Close call there for the umpire. Could have easily been a ball. But the umpire went with Brown there and gave him a strike. 1-1 pitch to Hernandez is in there for strike two. Fastball right down the middle. So we've seen, like I said, there's not a lot of information or, former starts that Brown has had. So I think that's another issue that Dodgers probably have also when they're facing Brown today. 1-2 pitch to Hernandez is down and away, make the count 2-2. Because once the Dodgers analytics team, of course, studies pitchers and really figures out their tendencies, and we know the Dodgers can be very dangerous because they have probably one of the best analytic teams in all of baseball, right? They really depend on analytics. The 2-2 pitch is going to be hit for a base hit between second and third for a base hit. So Hernandez gets his second hit of the day. And Michael Conforto will come to the plate. We saw Conforto strike out looking with runners on first and third back in the first inning. We'll see what the former Giants outfielder can do here. As the pitcher Brown checks on Hernandez at first, but Hernandez is back in with no issues. Tough strikeout for Conforto back in the first, right? Striking out looking with runners at first and third. First pitch to Conforto is going to be hit up to left field. Left fielder Happ gets it fly ball out. And 2 outs down here in the top of the fourth inning. As Happ had to kind of run over near foul territory to make that out. And Tommy Edman will come to the plate. Tommy Edman struck out his first time up. Hitting .254 to kick off the year. But the big stat has been the 6 homers and 14 RBI. As Brown checks on Hernandez once again at first, but Hernandez is back in with no issue. First pitch to Edman is fouled away and out of play to make the count 0-1. So 2 outs in the bottom of the fourth. Cubs lead 1-0. Dodgers have Hernandez at first. Dodgers have only had basically one runner make it to scoring position. That was Ohtani back in the first. 0-1 pitch is going to be hit foul and out of play to make the count 0-2. So Cubs starting pitching has been pretty solid. Yesterday and today, right? We saw Matthew Boyd really shut down the Dodgers early on, and now Ben Brown is doing the same for the Cubs. .58 pitches so far for Brown. We'll see how many innings or how many pitches Brown will have this tonight. See how Craig Counsell manages his starting pitcher. 0-2 pitch to Edman is going to be fouled away to keep the count 0-2. Of course, Ben Brown gave up 11 runs in 11 and 2/3 innings coming into today's game. So it was definitely a rough start for Brown in 2025. The 0-2 pitch is down and away to make the count 1-2. That's what makes this start shocking, right? Because looking at Brown's stats before today's game, you would see a struggling pitcher, a pitcher that was struggling to really get accustomed to Major League Baseball, but today he's looked like another pitcher completely. 1-2 pitch is going to be hit to center field. Center fielder Pete Crow Armstrong gets under it for the out. We'll go to the 5th inning with the Cubs leading 1-0. Back here on Dodgers Digest, going to the 5th inning with the Cubs leading 1-0. Dodgers have 3 hits so far. Cubs only have 2 hits. For the batter is Pete Crow Armstrong. First pitch to Crow Armstrong is fouled away, the Cubs center fielder. Crow Armstrong flew out his first time up, hitting 197 so far this season. Sasaki still in the game, 61 pitches. One pitch is going to be fouled away to make the count 0-2. So Sasaki, we'll see if this is his final inning. Still nobody warming up in the Dodgers bullpen. Seems like the Dodgers trying to stretch out Sasaki a bit more today. The 0-2 pitch is in there for strike 3. Great off-speed pitch that gets Crow Armstrong looking. Crow Armstrong doesn't like the call, but looking at the replay, it definitely is a strike. Good call from the umpire as Sasaki picks up his 3rd strikeout of the night. The batter now will be Carson Kelly, the Cubs catcher, the number 9 hitter. First pitch to Kelly is going to be hit foul and out of play. Top of the 5th inning, Cubs lead 1-0 after a Michael Busch solo shot. This Busch narrowly missed hitting a grand slam in his next at bat. 0-1 pitch to Kelly is a swing and a miss for strike 2. Top of the 5th, 1 out, nobody on for the Cubs. Sasaki's had a couple rough innings, but definitely has been helped out by his teammates, right? Tommy Edman making a big play, standing near second base for a catch, and then also Andy Pajes robbing that grand slam away. Now a ball will be hit up the middle for a base hit. This time Edman, who was standing near second again, was not able to make a play on that. And Kelly has reached. The Cubs have a runner at first with 1 out here in the top of the 5th inning. The batter now will be the leadoff hitter, Ian Happ, who is, of course, 1 for 2 today for the Cubs. His first pitch to Happ is outside. He made the count 1-0. The 1-0 pitch to Happ is in there for strike 1. Cubs, of course, have a runner at first base in Carson Kelly, the catcher who got a base hit. Sasaki up to 68 pitches. Probably his last inning, I would say. 1-1 pitch is going to be hit foul and out of play to make the count 1-2. Yes, you see Anthony Banda warming up in the bullpen, just as I thought. Dodgers not wanting to risk Sasaki yet in his early Major League Baseball career, and already have a pitcher warming up in the 5th inning. 1-2 pitch is down and away to make the count 2-2. The 2-2 pitch to Happ is going to be hit to left field for a base hit. So the Cubs have runners at first and second with 1 out here in the top of the 5th inning as Happ picks up his 2nd hit of the game, and Kyle Tucker will come to the plate. Kyle Tucker walked his last time up. He flew out his first time. And Kyle Tucker, one of the more dangerous hitters for sure for the Cubs. And 3rd time to the lineup for Sasaki. So another challenging position for Sasaki with 1st and 2nd, 1 out, top of the 5th. Cubs threatening again. First pitch to Tucker is going to hit foul and out of play, but Tucker got a good swing on that. Just missed hitting that out as that ball went directly behind home plate. As you know, when a hitter swings and fouls a ball directly behind home plate, it means that he was close to hitting that. And Sasaki's kind of feeling a bit nervous after seeing that swing from Tucker. The 0-1 pitch is going to be swung on and missed for strike 2. Good off-speed pitch there. Looked like a curveball, fooling Tucker there. And a strikeout would be huge for Sasaki and the Dodgers, right? With 1 out here in the 5th, This is exactly what the Dodgers would need, a strikeout from Sasaki. The 0-2 pitch is going to be hit foul up the first base line, very close to being fair. First and second, 1 out, top of the 5th. Cubs 1, Dodgers nothing. Big opportunity for the Cubs. They've had a lot of opportunities in this game to build on that 1-0 lead, but have failed to take advantage. As we're set to resume play. 0-2 pitch to Tucker is going to be popped up. Looks like it's in foul territory. And the third baseman, Muncie's got it for the second out of the inning. That's a huge out for Roki and the Dodgers as Tucker fouls out there for the out. And Seiya Suzuki will now come to the plate. Of course, Seiya Suzuki hit a line drive kind of up the middle, but Tommy Edman was standing near second base and was able to make a big out. And now Mark Pryor, the Dodgers pitching coach, will come out to speak to Sasaki, along with the interpreter. And it looks like Miguel Amaya will be pinch hitting for the Cubs. So pinch hitting for Suzuki. Not sure if there's an injury with Suzuki or what the issue is, or if it's simply a strategy from Craig Counsell here. But not every day you see the DH get pinch hit for in the 5th inning, right? Because Suzuki only had a couple of bats and already have taken him out. So, interesting for sure to see Craig Counsell pinch hitting for his own DH this early in the game, right? So, but yeah, it's already been announced. Miguel Amaya, the catcher from yesterday, who didn't get the start today, is going to be pinch hitting for Seiya Suzuki, the designated hitter for the Cubs. So 2 outs, top of the 5th. Cubs have runners at first and second. They lead 1-0. First pitch to Amaya is down and away to make the count 1-0. And they're just saying right now that Suzuki left the game with some wrist discomfort, so some discomfort after his last swing. 1-0 pitch is going to be fouled away to make the count 1-1. So that's definitely not good news for the Cubs. Their top DH, one of their top hitters, goes down after 2 at-bats in today's game. And yeah, it was strange, right? Seeing the DH get pinch hit for in the 5th inning, right? It's only because of injury. The 1-1 pitch is going to be a check swing, and it's a strike to make the count 1-2. And, the way the Major League benches are now, I mean, it's just such a small bench, right? There's barely anybody to go to. So the Cubs have to go to the backup catcher, right? I mean, there's just not that much on a Major League bench now with everybody loading up on pitchers. So definitely a big loss for the Cubs. It would have been a big opportunity for them, first and second. So now count is 1-2 to Amaya as Sasaki is getting set here to throw this pitch. The 1-2 pitch is going to be swung on and miss. Yes, they appeal. Oh, they're going to say no. Very close. I disagree with that call. That was very close to being a swing. As they went to, that's clearly a swing. That's a terrible call from the first base umpire, as that is clearly a swing and miss. Just an absolutely awful call from the first base umpire. The count will go to 2-2. The 2-2 pitch is going to be hit foul and out of play. We'll see if that call makes a difference, because it's clearly a check swing, strike 3 from Amaya, and the first base umpire completely blew it there. And that's exactly why you need challenges, you need robot umpires, because just the calls are so inconsistent from the umpires in today's game. The 2-2 pitch is going to be hit a fly ball to left field. Left fielder Conforto's got it. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th inning with the Cubs still leading 1-0. back here on Dodgers Digest. Mike Nelson here with you. Of course, the Cubs leading 1-0. We'll go to the bottom of the fifth inning. A perfect day out at Dodger Stadium. Perfect weather. The pitcher Brown's still in the game. He's, of course, facing Max Muncy. First pitch is down and away to make the count 1-0. Max Muncy starting today at third base, hitting 170 now with that strikeout. The 1-0 pitch is going to be hit foul off of his foot. It's foul off of that padding he has on there. But another big crowd at Dodger Stadium. And the Cubs have had so many opportunities to build on their lead today, and they just have failed over and over again. As the 1-1 pitch is fouled away to make the count 1-2. And you just know a 1-0 lead is basically nothing when you're facing the Dodgers, right? It's basically nothing, right? Because the Dodgers have so many hitters that it's not the best way to go, right? The 1-2 pitch to Muncy is upstairs for ball two. Very close to being a strike call there. Very close. Count will go to 2-2. You know, Ben Brown wanted that call. 2-2 pitch is going to be hit up the middle for a base hit. So Muncy has reached here in the bottom of the fifth inning, a leadoff hit for the Dodgers, and Andy Pajes will now be the batter. But that's exactly what you need. You got to get leadoff, hitters on, and that, of course, puts pressure on Ben Brown. He hasn't had much pressure in these first few innings as the Cubs starting pitcher. He's had a lot of low-stress pitches. And we'll see if the Dodgers now, as they're going to go into the third time to the lineup, eventually we'll see how that affects Brown. First pitch to Pajes is outside for ball one. Pajes grounded out his first time up, hitting 156 so far this season. 1-0 pitch is going to be in there for strike one, but today Pajes is going to they're going to be highlights all night long on SportsCenter with Pajes making that huge out in center field, robbing that grand slam away from Michael Busch. That's going to be a huge play most likely at the end of this game. 1-1 pitch is going to be outside to make the count 2-1. Back in the third inning, as they show the replay, just a massive catch, to say the least, for Andy Pajes, right? Leaping up, making a huge play. The 2-1 pitch to Pajes is going to be hit to center field. The center fielder, Pete Crow Armstrong, makes a running catch. So one out here in the bottom of the fifth. And the batter now will be Austin Barnes, the Dodgers catcher. Struck out his first time up, the number 9 hitter. Shohei Ohtani on deck. Ohtani 1 for 2 today with the hit and a ground out so far for Ohtani. 1 out, bottom of the fifth. Dodgers have a runner at first. Cubs lead 1-0. Barnes will hit this to the shortstop, Swanson. They go to second for 1. They go to first for 2. Double play. We'll go to the 6th inning with the Cubs still leading 1-0. Back here on Dodgers Digest, Mike Nelson here with you. We'll go to the 6th inning with the Cubs leading 1-0. Inning double play for Austin Barnes. Absolutely, really deflating always the double play. Ben Kasparius, the new pitcher for the Dodgers. Of course, coming in for Roki Sasaki. So, first pitch to Bush is down and away to make the count 1-0. Michael Bush hit a home run. That's the difference in today's game. And Bush narrowly missed hitting a grand slam in his second at bat. The 1-0 pitch to Bush is going to be hit to right field. That's going to go off the wall as Bush will go into second with the double. So Michael Bush has been hitting the ball all over the ballpark today. This guy always does well at Dodger Stadium. He narrowly missed hitting another home run there as that went off the right field wall. And the Cubs have a runner at second base with nobody out here in the top of the 6th inning after the leadoff double from Michael Bush. The batter now will be Dansby Swanson. Swanson struck out twice today, 0 for 2, hitting .194. First pitch to Swanson is in there for strike one. And the Cubs, of course, as we know, they've had a lot of opportunities today to really do some damage on the Dodgers, right? When it comes to adding on to this 1-0 lead, but they just have not found a way to hit with runners in scoring position. 0-1 pitch to Swanson is be hit deep to left field. That's going way back. It's at the wall, but a nice catch from Michael Conforto right at the warning track. And it's now 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning, as that ball is definitely carrying very well at Dodger Stadium tonight. And Swanson got a good swing at that. A fastball that was left up, but just narrowly missing that 2-run shot. Good catch there from Conforto near the warning track. The batter now will be Justin Turner, who also got a very good swing in his last at bat. Narrowly missed getting a ground rule double, as Teoscar Hernández made a nice catch near the right field wall. First pitch to Turner is in there for strike one. Turner doesn't like the call, asking the umpire, what was that? It's been an inconsistent day for the umpires today. Bush at second, 1 out, top of the 6th. Turner the batter. Turner fouls this off to make the count 0-2. Ben Kasparius, the first of the relievers that we'll see today. Sasaki exiting the game after 5 innings. 0-2 pitch to Turner is down and away to make the count 1-2. You see, Sasaki exiting, getting, a good, 70 pitches or so tonight, which is, what we're going to be seeing from Sasaki for sure the first few months, never really reaching 80 or 90. It's going to be around there, keeping that pitch count down. The 1-2 pitch to Turner is going to be hit to the shortstop in between second and third for a base hit. Betts was not able to get to it. Bush will come in to score. The Cubs lead 2-0 as Justin Turner picks up the RBI. And a big hit for the Cubs. As Betts looked like he was going to get to that. The ball was hit between second and third, but Betts just was not able to make a dive. It looked like I was shocked because it looked like Betts was going to have a shot to make that play. And he either misplayed it or didn't want to dive for it, because a big play there for sure for the Cubs. And the batter now will be Nico Horner. First pitch to him is down and away to make the count 1-0. But Justin Turner picks up a big hit for the Cubs, getting that RBI. And the Cubs get a big insurance run here in the 6th. 1-0 pitch to the Nico is in there for strike one. Of course, Justin Turner, all smiles, former Dodger. You love to see Turner do well on other teams, but just not against the Dodgers, right? We don't want to see him do too well when he's playing the Dodgers, right? The 1-1 pitch is going to be hit to the shortstop Betts. They'll go to second for one, and they get the lead runner Turner. So 2 outs here in the 6th. As Turner did a great job. If you're watching the game, or if you go back and see the replay, Justin Turner did a great job sliding into second, making it very uncomfortable for Tommy Edman to make a throw to first, something we don't see very often anymore with young baseball players, right? Making that aggressive slide at second, kind of throwing, the second baseman Edman off, right? Because nobody does that anymore. Nobody slides into the second baseman. As now they try to pick off Horner, but he gets back just in time. Great pickoff attempt from Ben Kasperius. As that was a high throw, though, but if the throw would have just been a little bit lower, they would have been able to pick off Horner at first. The batter for the Cubs is Pete Crow Armstrong. He fouls off the first pitch to make the count 0-1. 12 pitches so far for Kasperius. It's been an eventful inning, to say the least, here in the 6th inning. And like I was saying, great job by Turner kind of extending the inning for the Cubs, because that could have been a double play for sure. As Kasperius throws this away, trying to pick off the runner. This goes into the dugout. Horner slides into second, and the Cubs have a runner at second base with 2 outs here in the 6th inning, as Kasperius just threw it way too high for Freeman to make a play. It was wide. Freeman could not make this play. The ball ended up in the dugout, and the runner at Horner, of course, takes second. 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Cubs have a runner at second for the second time in this inning. Count is 0-1 to Crow Armstrong. 0-1 pitch is upstairs to make the count 1-1. Crow Armstrong hitting 194 so far this season. 0 for 2 today. 1-1 pitch is outside to make the count 2-1. Carson Kelly, the catcher for the Cubs, is the hitter on deck. Cubs already had to pinch hit for their DH Suzuki after he left the game with wrist soreness. 2-1 pitches a check swing. They go appeal to third. They say it's a swing. So 2 strikes now. Count is 2-2. We'll see if Kasperius can get through this inning without any more damage. Of course, already surrendered a run here in the 6th. Horner at second. 2 outs, top of the 6th. The count is 2-2 to Crow Armstrong. 2-2 pitch is going to be fouled away off of the backstop. Cubs trying to get a big win on the road. Dodgers are undefeated at Dodger Stadium so far this season. 2-2 pitch is going to be strike 3. Swing and a miss. Big strikeout for Ben Kasperius. We will go to the bottom of the 6th inning with the Cubs leading 2-0. bottom of the 6th inning with the Cubs now leading 2-0. Justin Turner, former Dodger, getting the RBI for the Cubs in that top of the 6th. Ben Brown still in the game for the Cubs. 71 pitches, having the best start of his Major League Baseball career. He'll now face Shohei Ohtani for the 3rd time. First pitch to Ohtani is in there for strike 1. Ohtani going 1 for 2 so far today with a single and a stolen base, hitting .300 to kick off the year with 4 homers and 5 RBI. 0-1 pitch to Ohtani is down and away to make the count 1-1. 73 pitches so far for Brown. And that's been the story, right? Brown has been solid. Now it's going to be the 3rd time through the lineup. As the 1-1 pitch is outside, he made the count 2-1. So 3rd time through the lineup. That's going to be the story now. How does he do? How does a young pitcher do facing one of the best lineups in baseball, if not the best lineup in baseball? The 2-1 pitch to Ohtani is going to be hit deep to right field and foul, just narrowly being a home run, just narrowly missing that. As Ohtani got a great swing, but that was a foul ball. Just so close, right? Got a great swing. And Ohtani was hoping that would go fair, but it just went past that foul pole and went foul. The 2-2 pitch to Ohtani is going to be hit deep to right field, going way back, but the right fielder, Tucker's got it at the warning track. Big out as Ohtani just narrowly missed a home run on his last 2 pitches there facing Brown. 3rd time to the lineup, Ohtani seemed like he figured out Brown there. And Ohtani just narrowly missed a home run on that flyout. It just went deep to right field, and Tucker made a big out. So now here's Mookie Betts, 0 for 2 today with the flyout and the lineout. First pitch to Betts is outside for ball 1. And like I said, now it's going to be the 3rd time through. You expect the Dodger hitters to kind of have a little bit more information, a little bit more on the tendencies of Brown. So let's see if they can take advantage of that. The 0-2 pitch is going to be in there for strike 1. They can kind of figure out exactly the kind of pitches he's going to throw next. And that's always going to benefit the hitter, right? It doesn't benefit the pitcher. When hitters start figuring out the pitcher, that's not good for the pitcher. As this next pitch is going to be hit to the 3rd baseman who came in for Turner. And that's going to be an out. Workman came in for Turner on a line drive out for Mookie Betts. So now 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. So Justin Turner checks out of this game after the RBI in the 6th. First pitch to Freeman is going to be swung on and miss for strike 1. Freddie Freeman, the batter for the Dodgers. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Nobody on. Freeman 0 for 2 today with a strikeout and a flyout. 0-1 pitch is going to be down and away to make the count 1-1. Freddie Freeman is still looking for his first hit of the series. 0 for 5 so far. 1-1 pitch to Freeman is going to be hit to in between first and second for a base hit. So Freeman gets his first hit of the series. Dodgers have a runner at first with 2 outs. Bottom of the 6th. Cubs up 2-0. We'll see what Teoscar Hernández can do here. The cleanup hitter. 2 for 2 today. So we'll see if he can improve on that and keep this rally going. Although it's always difficult with 2 outs. Brad Keller warming up for the Cubs in the bullpen. First pitch that Teoscar is swung on and missed for strike 1. Brown up to 83 pitches. You know the Cubs want him to get through this 6th, right? They don't want to go to their bullpen now, as they have a limited amount of bullpen arms they can go to. 0-1 pitch is going to be a check swing. It will go to the second baseman, Horner, though. They go to first for the out, as there's kind of a half swing from Hernandez. We'll go to the 7th inning with the Cubs leading 2-0. the seventh inning with the Cubs leading 2-0. Mike Nelson here with you on Dodgers Digest. It's been definitely a big pitching performance today for the Cubs starting pitcher Ben Brown, going 6 innings, giving up 5 hits, and a super solid day for sure for Brown. Kasperius stays in the game for the Dodgers. First pitch to Kelly is in there for strike one. Carson Kelly, 1-for-1 today with a walk and a single. The Cubs catcher, number 9 hitter. 0-1 pitch, so we fouled away to make the count 0-2. Kasperius surrendered that second run in the 6th inning. Justin Turner picking up an RBI. Gage Workman came in for Justin Turner at third base after that RBI in the 6th. The 0-2 pitch to Kelly is outside to make the count 1-2. Of course, top of the 7th inning, Cubs 9 outs away from a massive win on the road. 1-2 pitch to Kelly's going to hit deep to left field. This will go out. Home run. Cubs lead 3-0 as Carson Kelly hits this out of the ballpark in left field. And the Cubs lead 3-0 after a home run from Carson Kelly. And now the question is going to be on Dave Roberts. Why did Dave Roberts decide to keep Kasperius in the game after surrendering the run in the 6th, right? Usually, if a relief pitcher comes in and gives up a run, you're not going to bring him out again for the next inning, and that's on Dave Roberts, leaving Kasperius in the game for the 7th. And now the batter will be Ian Happ, who takes a pitch outside to make the count 1-0. So the Cubs tack on a couple more runs here. 1 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th so far. They lead 3-0. The 1-0 pitch is in there for strike one. And now, of course, the Dodgers will have to go into that Cubs bullpen. I'm sure Brown will be out of the game now as when we go to the bottom of the 7th. As Happ will hit this foul up the first base line. The count will go to 1-2. So you never know with the bullpen, especially the Cubs. You just hope the Dodgers can find a way to take advantage with Brown most likely out of this game, right? Who, of course, had a solid performance through the first 6 innings. Not even giving up a run, right? The 1-2 pitch to Happ will be fouled off of the backstop. Austin Barnes lost his mask in the process. Not sure if a bat touched Barnes in the head there. Yeah, looking at the replay, oh, yes, the bat did hit Austin Barnes in the face, and that's why Barnes lost his mask. But Barnes is ready to go. The 1-2 pitch is upstairs to make the count 2-2. You saw the batter Happ, swinging through that, getting a piece of the ball, and then when he came back with his bat, it hits Barnes in the face, right? And Barnes' mask came off. The 2-2 pitch to Happ is down and away to make the count 3-2. $27 pitches for Kasperius, so he had a pretty extensive 6th. That's why it's shocking that he came on the 7th. Now Kasperius walks Happ, and the Dodgers are going to have to take Kasperius out soon, right? I mean, he's not used to pitching this much. And the right fielder, Kyle Tucker, now will come to the plate. And I assume there's action in the Dodgers bullpen. As you don't want the Cubs putting together a little rally here now. Kasperius did start, of course, as a starter before. But the Major League level, he's never really been a long reliever, right? As Tucker gets a strike one there, check swing. That's, I think, what you have to kind of question that decision, right? To leave him in the 7th inning after surrendering a run in the 6th. As Kasperius checks on the runner Happ, but Happ gets in with no issue. We saw Kasperius throw a ball into the dugout in the 6th. And that pushed the runner to second. So, of course, you don't want him doing that now with nobody out in the 7th. That would be a massive blow if he were to do that again. 0-1 pitch to Tucker is going to be swung on and missed for strike 2 to make the count 0-2. Tucker 0 for 2 today. Kind of a quiet day for Tucker. Surprising. Tucker hitting .308 so far this season. 0-2 pitch to Tucker is going to be hit in between first and second for a base hit. The runner Happ will take off for third. The Cubs will now have first and third with nobody out here in the top of the 7th inning as the disastrous disastrous outing for Kasperius continues. As Tucker got a good swing on that, and the Cubs got a big opportunity to build on this 3-0 lead here in the 7th. The batter now will be Miguel Amaya, who came in as a pinch hitter and stayed in the game as a designated hitter for the injured Seiya Suzuki. First pitch to Amaya will be hit for a base hit up the middle, and the Cubs take a 4-0 lead. Cubs still have runners at first and second, nobody out here in the top of the 7th inning. And I assume the Dodgers are going to take Kasperius out, although this decision has to be questioned. I know Kasperius started his career as a starter, and that's why the Dodgers have confidence to leave him in a bit longer. But I think if you give up a run, you have to come out of the game. I think that's standard. It's been like that forever. You don't bring out a reliever again after he gave up a run, right? I think you have to take him out. And now he gives up 2 more runs, which is not good at all. Michael Busch, the batter now. Michael Busch will foul this off. And out of play to make the count 0-1. Of course, Busch had a home run, almost hit a grand slam, had a double. It's been a solid day for Michael Busch, going 2 for 3. Although it should have been 3 for 3, right? So 0-1 pitch is down and away to make the count 1-1. 34 pitches now for Kasperius. Definitely not going to be used tomorrow. I don't think Kasperius will be pitching tomorrow after this kind of an outing, right? They're definitely going to give him a day off tomorrow. We will not be seeing him in back-to-back days. 1-1 pitch to Busch is going to be hit up to center field for a base hit. The runner Tucker will head home, and the Cubs lead 5-0. So good base running there from Kyle Tucker. You see Kyle Tucker took off on contact, and the center fielder Pajes kind of looked like he had maybe a shot to make the out, but Tucker took off on contact and able to go from second to home. And the Cubs have first and second still with nobody out here in the 7th inning. They now lead 5-0. Kasperius still in the game. No meeting, looks like Dave Roberts or Mike Pryor not going out to talk to the relief pitcher. They're just leaving him out there. And Dansby Swanson, now the batter, 0 for 3 today. First pitch to Swanson, and we swung on and missed for strike 1. That's, of course, when people start to question, I think, Dave Roberts and his decision-making because of days like today, right? Luis Garcia, the pitcher who's warming up in the bullpen. 0-1 pitch to Swanson is hit for a base hit. And we'll see if the runner takes off for home, and he sure does. It's Amaya will go into home, so the Cubs now lead 6-0 as Amaya took off on contact as well. Cubs still have first and second with nobody out. Kasperius has now given up 5 runs in this outing. He, of course, gave up 1 in the 6th, and now has given up 4 here in this inning. So 6-0 now, Cubs. Still nobody out here in the 7th. And it's been a really bad outing so far for Kasperius. And now, finally, they have a meeting to speak to Kasperius. The catcher, Barnes, going out to speak to him. Although the pitching coach Mark Pryor and Dave Roberts still have yet to come out to speak to Kasperius. So it looks like Kasperius is looking over to the dugout, kind of pleading, I want to come out of this game, it seems like, right? But the Dodgers still holding him in, keeping him in the game. Gage Workman coming to the plate. Gage Workman, who came in for Justin Turner. And you see Kasparis is sweating out there. He's exhausted, right? He wants to come out. And the first pitch that Workman's hit up the middle. Betts will get it. He steps on second for the out. And the Cubs now at first and third with one out. Betts' only play was a step on second. Kasparis breathing heavily, sweating out there. He's looking over at the dugout, hoping to come out, but Dodgers not pulling him out yet. The batter now will be Nico Hoerner. So Hoerner up for the Cubs, first and third, one out, top of the seventh. Cubs up 6-0. Kasparis up to 38 pitches in this outing. That goes back to the sixth inning, right? He came in for Sasaki after 5. First pitch to Hoerner is down and away. The runner will take off from first, and he'll steal the second. Workman takes off. So the Cubs have second and third with one out here in the top of the seventh. Dodgers still keeping Kasparis in. You assume, I would hope that if another runner comes, they get another run, they're going to take him out, right? I would assume with Garcia warming up, but we'll see. 1-0 pitch is going to be fouled away to make the count 1-1. And you see Kasparis is definitely fatigued out there. He's tired. Already up to 40 pitches as a relief pitcher is always a lot. And that's it's tough to come in as a reliever and throw this amount of pitches, in my opinion. The 1-1 pitch is going to be hit deep to right field. The right fielder, Teoscar Hernández, says, guys, it should be deep enough for the runner from third to tag, and he sure does. The runner from third tags for the run, so it's now 7-0 Cubs as Michael Busch comes in to score. RBI for Nico Hoerner. And the batter now will be Pete Crow Armstrong. And now Kasparis will come out of this game after giving up 6 runs in this outing, 5 here in the 7th. Dave Roberts takes him out. We'll be back here on Dodgers Digest. Cubs 7, Dodgers 0. Back here on Dodgers Digest, Mike Nelson here with you. The Cubs lead 7-0 here in the 7th inning. They have now batted around. Kasparis had a rough outing, giving up 6 runs, 5 here in the 7th, 1 in the 6th. Pete Crow Armstrong, the batter. Cubs have a runner at third with 2 outs here in the 7th. First pitch to Crow Armstrong is down and away to make the count 1-0. Crow Armstrong looking for his first hit, 0 for 3 today. Pete Crow Armstrong hitting 190 to kick off the year. The 1-0 pitch to Crow Armstrong will be hit to center field. Pajes goes back to the warning track to make the out. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th inning. 7th inning stretch with the Cubs leading 7-0. Back here on Dodgers Digest, we'll go to the bottom of the 7th inning with the Cubs leading 7-0. Ben Brown was a story for the Cubs in the first 6, going 6 innings of shutout ball. And then, of course, the Cubs jumped on the Dodgers for, a bunch of runs in the last couple innings. First pitch to Michael Conforto. Julian Merriweather, the new pitcher for the Cubs. First pitch to Conforto is in there for strike 1. 0-1 pitch to Conforto is outside to make the count 1-1. One pitch to Conforto will be in there for strike 2. It's always, of course, a challenge when you're down this amount of runs, and always a challenge, right? To come back, it's always super difficult, right? It's like, the momentum has completely shifted for the Cubs, right? They're up 7-0. It's hard to bounce back from that. The 1-2 pitch is down away to make the count 2-2. It's always super difficult to find momentum, right? It's a challenge, right? I think it's baseball. It's a momentum sport, and when you're down this amount of runs, it's always a challenge. 2-2 pitch will be hit foul and out of play. But, with the Dodgers, you never know, right? They can always find a way to get some runs, make this game a little bit more interesting, right? Because if they don't get a couple runs here in the 7th, like they don't get 3 or 4 runs here, it's going to be very difficult in the last 2 innings. The 2-2 pitch to Conforto will be swung on and missed for strike 3. Strikeout for Merriweather. Tommy Edman, the batter. 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. Nobody on for the Dodgers. Cubs up 7-0. Go through the comments here. Appreciate Kali, Cesar, Brian, Michael. Appreciate everybody for watching today. First pitch to Edman is outside to make the count 1-0. 1-0 pitch is in there for strike 1. Max Muncy on deck for the Dodgers. 1-1 pitch to Edman is hit foul. The left fielder Happ will take a look, but it will go out of play to make the count 1-2. Dodgers and Cubs will play tomorrow at 4 o'clock Pacific time with the national TV window in place. We'll have it for you here on Dodgers Digest. The 1-2 pitch to Edman, it will be hit foul and out of play. 10 pitches so far for Merriweather. Dodgers on the brink of losing their first game at home all season long. 1-2 pitch is down and away. It made the count 2-2. You have the two highest paid managers going at it, right? Dave Roberts, number 1. Craig Counsell, number 2. Although it's pretty close, right? I believe it's only like $500,000 more a year. As Edman will hit this to the second baseman, Horner. He'll go to first to Happ to Bush for the out. So 2 outs here in the 7th. It's been, like I said, the two highest paid managers, Counsell and Roberts. But it's very close. It's only $500,000 more a year, so it's not like it's that much more. Max Muncy, the batter. 2 outs, nobody on. Bottom of the 7th. Cubs 7, Dodgers 0. First pitch to Muncy is inside for ball 1. Muncy hitting 188 this season, 1 for 2 today. 1-0 pitch to Muncy is down and away to make the count 2-0. Two-0 pitch is going to be hit foul and out of play. Andy Pajes on deck. And a lot of fans still at the game today. Nobody's leaving early. So Saturday night, people staying the whole game as the 2-1 pitch is upstairs to make the count 3-1. You saw a lot of fans taking off early yesterday, the Friday traffic, but today, fans sticking around at Dodger Stadium. Still pretty early, right? 8 o'clock on a Saturday. The night is just beginning, right? Saturday night. 3-1 pitch is hit to right field, fly ball. Kyle Tucker will get under it. We'll go to the 8th inning. Cubs 7, Dodgers 0. Back here on Dodgers Digest, we'll go to the 8th inning with the Cubs leading 7-0. New pitcher for the Dodgers, Luis Garcia. So, of course, Chris Taylor has checked into the game as well.
Chris Taylor will go to center. Pajes moves over to right. Kike Hernandez is checked in as well. Carson Kelly, the batter for the Cubs. The count will go to 1-1. And the fans now have started to leave at Dodger Stadium. Now you see some fans heading out here in the 8th inning. 1-1 pitch to Kelly is swung on and missed to make the count 1-2. Of course, Kelly hit a home run back in the 6th inning. That gave the Cubs a 2-0 lead at the time. Or I should say back in the 7th inning to give the Cubs a 3-0 lead at the time, right? It started the whole rally. 2 for 2 today for Carson. So many runs, it's hard to remember when the Cubs got all those runs. It happened all at once back in the 7th inning. 2-2 pitch to Kelly is going to be hit foul and out of play. You definitely see the energy in the stadium is taken out for sure, right? It's a pretty quiet Dodger Stadium at this time. The 2-2 pitch to Kelly is fouled off of the backstop. Eight pitches so far for Garcia in this bat. Two pitch will be swung on and miss, or actually they're going to say he got a piece of that, so foul tip, stays alive. Caleb Thielbar in the bullpen for the Cubs. We'll see if Thielbar is the guy to come out in the 8th. The Cubs still got to get 6 outs here. Cubs 7, Dodgers 0, top of the 8th. Nobody out. 2-2 pitch is outside. He made the count 3-2. Three-two pitch is going to be down and away for ball 4. So leadoff walk for the Cubs here in the 8th. Ian Happ will be the batter, leadoff batter for the Cubs. They're talking about Shohei Ohtani's bullpen session, at his 3rd bullpen session of the off season, or of the season, I should say, as he's starting to ramp up, trying to get back into pitching form. First pitch to Happ will be hit to right field, deep but foul, and out of play. But yeah, Ohtani, ramping up the bullpen session is going to be something we're going to keep an eye on as Ohtani tries to work himself back into becoming a starting pitcher again, right? Which I think he personally wants to. I don't know the Dodgers want him to be a pitcher because they wanted him to be a hitter every day, but Ohtani wants to pitch again as Happ swings and misses and make the count 0-2. Cubs have a runner at first, top of the 8th. They lead 7-0. As Happ adjusts his batting gloves after asking for time. 0-2 pitch is outside to make the count 1-2. Happ 2 for 3 today with a couple hits. At least the Dodgers don't have a quick turnaround. I think it's always difficult for teams. The 1-2 pitch is going to be hit foul up the first base line. I think it's always difficult for teams to play that early Sunday afternoon start after losing this bad, right? I mean, the Dodgers will technically have almost 24 hours to get ready for tomorrow's game, being a Sunday night game. Well, not really for us, right? 4 o'clock on the West Coast, but 7 p.m. Eastern, so it is a little later than usual. 1-2 pitch is down and away to make the count 2-2. So they have a little bit more time to get ready for tomorrow. And Of course, the game's still not over here, but not looking good, down 7-0 in the 8th inning. 2-2 pitch is down and away to make the count 3-2. It's the second full count in this outing for Garcia. Already 17 pitches, and he only has faced 2 batters. So, got to face 3, right? 3 batter minimum. They got to keep him out there for one more batter. 3-2 pitch is going to be hit foul and out of play to keep the count 3-2. Three-two pitch is going to be hit foul and out of play. Starting to work up that pitch count for Garcia. Of course, we saw Casparius ended up throwing over 40 pitches. And now Garcia is up to 19, so. Three-two pitch will be hit foul and out of play. As Happ staying out there and keeping this up bat going. Cubs have a runner at first, top of the 8th. They lead 7-0. Three-two pitch will be hit to right field for a base hit. This will go all the way to the wall. He'll bounce off the wall. The runner, Kelly, will head to third. Happ will head to second. Cubs have second and third with nobody out here in the top of the 8th as they try to build on this 7-0 lead. Good swing from Happ there. Pulling it to right field, left-handed batter. 3 for 4 today. Ian Happ, who came into this game really struggling, right? Hitting, under 200? Went 3 for 4 today. Always helps out when your leadoff hitter has a solid day. And that's what the Cubs have taken advantage of so far. Kyle Tucker will now be the hitter. Tucker to 1 for 3, hitting .318 this season. Fly ball would give the Cubs another run. First pitch to Tucker's outside to make the count 1-0. You would expect Garcia to be pulled, I assume, soon, right? Although the way Dave Roberts has been using the relief pitchers today, I don't know. Casparius was in there for quite a while, so we'll see if Garcia comes out soon. 1-0 pitch is going to be hit foul up the first base line. I mean, if you're a relief pitcher and you pitch this many pitches, 25, 30 pitches, it's got to take something out of you, right? I think it takes out something out of you in the long run. Especially these guys are not used to that now. So, this is not the 1970s anymore. So, these guys are not used to pitching this much, the relief pitchers. 1-1 pitch will be hit up the middle for a base hit. That will score 1 run. The other runner will, both actually going to score both runs. So, both runners come home to score, so a 9-0 lead here for the Cubs. Both runners took off on contact. 9-0, still nobody out here in the 8th. As Tucker gets a couple ribbies there on that hit. Miguel Amaya will now be the hitter for the Cubs. Came in as a pinch hitter for Suzuki, who left the game with wrist soreness. First pitch to Amaya is outside to make the count 1-0. Amaya 1 for 2 today, RBI single, hitting .257 to kick off the year. One 0 pitch is swung on and missed to make the count 1-1. .26 pitches now for Luis Garcia in this outing. 1-1 pitch will be hit to right field, pretty deep, and that's gone. 2-run shot for Miguel Amaya. The Cubs now lead 11-0. As that was a good swing, good piece of hitting for Amaya. And the Cubs have really blown this game open now. up 11-0 in the 8th inning. Still nobody out. Cubs still rallying here. And now, of course, Michael Busch will be the hitter. Luis Garcia, one of the free agent signings for the Dodgers for that bullpen. Hasn't been the best start for him in his Dodger career. And now is giving up 4 runs here without an out in the 8th. As Maya hits that 2-run shot. And they're going to take Garcia out. Dave Roberts comes out to take him out. We'll go to a break here. The Cubs lead 11-0. Back here on Dodgers Digest, and we're going to see the third baseman Miguel Rojas be the pitcher now for the Dodgers. This is going to be interesting for sure, as the Dodgers just don't want to use a relief pitcher, right? They're going to just use one of their bench players here to pitch, as Rojas throwing like 60 miles an hour. First, the pitch ends up here in center field. Taylor makes the out, but that's definitely funny to see Rojas out there as a pitcher, right? There's no reason to use a relief pitcher now, right? It's an 11-0 game. You see Rojas out there with his third baseman glove, it seems. Oh, no, he did get a pitcher's glove, it seems like. As Tansby Swanson is now the batter for the Cubs. That pitch was 44 miles an hour for Miguel Rojas. But this is going to be funny now. The last couple innings, we'll see if they just leave him out there the last 2 innings, right? The third baseman. This is gonna be like all over social media and like gonna be a funny story, right? I mean, the third baseman pitching the last 2 innings for the Dodgers, right? As he's able to get Swanson to foul off a pitch. This is definitely a funny moment that's going to be talked about for quite a while. He's able to get a strike call there, although that was clearly upstairs. I think the umpire is just trying to end this game now, right? That ball was clearly above the strike zone. The 2-2 pitch to Swanson is going to be hit to center field, a fly ball. So Rojas is able to get a couple, 2 up, 2 down. So doing better than the last 2 Dodger relievers. The third baseman Rojas for the Dodgers, pitching in relief. Wow. Pretty shocking. And now the batter will be Gage Workman. First pitch to Workman is going to be hit for a base hit between first and second. So Cubs got a runner on with 2 outs in the 8th. They lead 11-0. You got Miguel Rojas out there pitching for the Dodgers. I believe it's his second pitching. I believe he pitched before. Was last year he came in for a game. As Gage Workman got his first career base hit, the young AAA hitter for the Cubs. As the next pitch to Horner is upstairs for ball 1, but everybody's going to be talking about Miguel Rojas coming in to pitch for the Dodgers, right? 1-0 pitch is going to be hit to the shortstop, Betts. He'll go to first, so Rojas had a great inning there. Didn't give up any extra base hits. Able to get 3 outs, so good job by the Dodgers' third baseman. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Cubs lead 11-0. Go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Cubs are up 11-0. It's been a rough start, rough game for the Dodgers. Mike Nelson here with you. Miguel Rojas was the pitcher for the Dodgers in the top of the 8th. Of course, infielder, third baseman, getting a shot to pitch for the second time in his career. The batter for the Dodgers is Andy Pajes. Thielbar, the new pitcher for the Cubs, Caleb Thielbar. 11-0 lead. Always kind of hard to come back when you're down 11 runs, right? 0-1 pitch to Pajes will be hit out of play to make the count 1-1. Oh, 2 pitch is going to be down and away to make the count 1-2. Austin Barnes on deck. And then, of course, Shohei Ohtani coming up after. One-two pitch to Barnes is swung on and missed, or 1-2 pitch to Pajes is swung on and missed for strike 3. Austin Barnes will now be the batter for the Dodgers. 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. And I can't remember the last time the Dodgers, were losing a game this bad. It's been quite a while. I don't recall that ever happening last year. Last year was a pretty dominant season for the team as Barnes will hit this to right field, foul and out of play. Can I make the count 0-1? It's rough, it's going to be a challenge for sure. The Dodgers had a rough road trip, went 2-4. And Miguel Rojas looks like he's going to be coming in as he's warming up there. It's coming in for Ohtani, it seems. So he'll be basically staying in and hitting for himself, right? As a pitcher, going to be moving in as taking the DH spot for Ohtani as Rojas is on deck. 0-2 pitch is down and away to make the count 1-2. So I guess we'll see Rojas again in the ninth, I assume, if he's going to be coming in for Ohtani here. We'll see. Rojas had a quick inning in the eighth, so 1-2 pitch is going to be upstairs to make the count 2-2. Basically, the Dodgers will be opting out of the DH if Rojas hits, right? Because he's the pitcher. And Shaw will go to first as Barnes grounds out. Ground ball to third base. So 2 outs here in the bottom of the eighth. Miguel Rojas will be the batter. Rojas, who pitched in the top of the eighth, will now hit for himself. The Dodgers will be not using basically opting out of the DH possibility, no longer using that DH. And instead going to be using the pitcher, right? As Rojas will foul this off of the dugout for a foul ball to make the count 0-1. The 2 outs in the bottom of the eighth. Cubs are up 11-0. 0-1 pitch is going to be swung on and missed for strike 2. I think most of the fans, at least half of the stadium, has left now, right? I think quite a bit of fans have exited Dodger Stadium after this barrage of runs from the Cubs in the last 2 innings. 0-2 pitch is down and away to make the count 1-2. The 1-2 pitch will be hit foul and out of play. Of course, tomorrow will be the final day in the NBA regular season. Of course, for the LA teams, you got the Lakers already wrapped up. They're going to be in the playoffs, not going to be going to the play-in. The 1-2 pitch will be hit deep to left field for the out. The Clippers still have everything up in the air in their game against the Warriors. We'll have to see what happens in that one. But we'll go to the ninth inning. The Cubs lead 11-0. Go to the ninth inning. Mike Nelson here with you on Dodgers Digest. Mike, the Cubs lead 11-0. Miguel Rojas will still be the pitcher for the Dodgers. The Dodgers third baseman, infielder. So keeping him in, of course, he hit for himself. Coming in as a pitcher, the Dodgers no longer using that DH, instead having Rojas just hit for himself. And Rojas going to be the pitcher, going to continue being the pitcher now for the Dodgers, right? As first pitch to Crow Armstrong is fouled away. You see Rojas imitating a lot of the Dodgers relievers' windups, basically. That's what everybody's going to be talking about. Now he's doing Michael Kopech. As Crow Armstrong's going to hit this up the right field line all the way to the wall. He'll go to second, so leadoff double for the Cubs. Because that was Clayton Kershaw on this last one. And Crow Armstrong's able to take advantage. I mean, come on, Rojas throwing like 50, 60 miles an hour, so I'm surprised nobody got on the last inning. And Carson Kelly will take ball one. And then now the 1-0 pitch is down and away to make the count 2-0. And now he's doing Roki Sasaki, right? It's basically, Rojas is coming in and imitating all the different windups from all his teammates. As this pitch will be crushed out into left field, and it's now 13-0 Cubs. Carson Kelly gets his second homer of the game. Eventually it was going to happen, right? I mean, come on, these are major league hitters. I don't think the Cubs are too happy with what Rojas is doing here, messing around. And it's 13-0 Cubs. Still nobody out in the ninth. And this is gonna make this series interesting, because you know the Cubs are gonna say something about what's going on after today's game, right? They're not gonna be happy. Dodgers not taking the game serious, putting an infielder out there, right? You know, the Cubs don't look too happy about what's going on, right? As the batter is Ian Happ now for the Cubs. Happ 3 for 4 today. 1-1 pitch to Happ will be swung on and missed for strike 2. Good pitch there from Rojas, up to 60. Kind of fooled Happ. One-two pitch is going to be hit foul and out of play. We'll have to see how long, Rojas is an infielder, right? It's kind of crazy that it's like he's pitching in this game, but as he fouls off the next pitch, this is going to be something we're going to talk about for a long time, right? I mean, come on. You see the fans smiling. I mean, it's a bad loss for the Dodgers, right? Down 13-0. But this would kind of put a smile on everybody's face, seeing Rojas pitching out there and imitating all his teammates with different windups, right? It's just even Justin Turner's smiling, right? He's like the only Cub that's smiling right now. The 2-2 pitch is going to be hit back to Rojas, and he'll go to first to Kike Hernandez for the out. But I don't know. I don't think the Cubs players are too happy about what's going on, right? I think the Cubs fans, I don't know if any Cubs fans are watching out there. What do you guys think? But it seems like the players on the Cubs don't like that the Dodgers put an infielder in, and this guy is coming in and just, imitating his teammates' windups. John Birdie will be the pinch hitter for the Cubs now. And it doesn't look like they're too... Well, I mean, even the manager, Craig Counsell, on the Cubs, we've got to see what he says about this, right? As Birdie is going to hit this to center field for a base hit. Cubs have another base runner here in the ninth. We're going to have to see, maybe Craig Counsell will talk about, what did you think about the Dodgers bringing out an infielder for the last 2 innings of the game, right? It is, of course, a blowout lead, but He didn't come in and seriously pitch, right? He's come in and kind of messed around in a major league game, so we'll see what Cubs have to say about it. They still got to play one more time tomorrow, so we'll see if there's something about, something happens with that tomorrow, as Amaya is the batter for the Cubs now, and Amaya will get hit by a pitch, so now this even gets more interesting as Rojas hits the batter. There's going to be something said about this tomorrow, or even tonight, I should say. Right? Because I don't think the Cubs are too happy about what's going on. Now Rojas has actually hit one of the batters, right? I mean, now the batter is Michael Busch, and Busch will hit this foul at the first base line. I mean, I agree with Dave Roberts. I mean, I think if it's a blowout game, why use a relief pitcher, right? I mean, as Busch will hit this up the right field line for a base hit. That will score another run. Cubs up 14-0. Busch will go to second. Birdie will go to third. Cubs have second and third. And now a smile for Michael Busch talking to Mookie Betts. I don't know, a couple of the other Cubs players, especially Carson Kelly, gave a pretty dirty look to Rojas after hitting that home run. So I don't know. Maybe some of the Cubs players are all right with it, but some of them aren't, it seems. Dansby, actually the Cubs are going to be doing a pinch hitter here. Ground ball to the shortstop Betts. He'll go to first for the out. So 2 outs here in the 9th inning. Cubs are up 14-0. Can't remember the last time the Dodgers lost this bad. I mean, Gage Workman is now the batter for the Cubs. Workman will hit this deep to right field off the wall. This will score a couple runs, I assume. Yep, sure does. So the Cubs up 16-0 now. As Gage picks up his first 2 RBIs of his career. His first extra base hit. So I don't know, Gage Workman, I don't know how he's going to feel when he tells his kids, I got my first 2 hits against Miguel Rojas, right? An infielder, right? And I got my first RBIs against, not a Major League Baseball pitcher, right? I got it against an infielder. As the Cubs get another base hit here. It's now first and third with 2 outs. Horner got that base hit. Pete Crow Armstrong now has the opportunity to come up and maybe get his first hit, because he's the only guy that hasn't gotten a hit yet for the Cubs. So everybody's gotten a hit except Pete Crow Armstrong. So not every day that everybody up and down the lineup gets a hit, but that's the story here. Crow Armstrong will foul this away. I mean, if you're Pete Crow Armstrong, you got to be thinking, I got to get a hit, right? I mean, come on. I mean, if everybody else got one, I got to get one. 0-1 pitch to Crow is going to be hit to right field deep, but that's not going to be a hit. He's going to be the only one that didn't get a hit today. That's a fly ball out. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th. Cubs up 16-0. go to the bottom of the ninth inning, and the Cubs lead 16-0. Mike Nelson here with you. They're talking about how this is going to be the Dodgers' worst loss in over 50 years at home. Kind of hard to believe. Since the 1960s, they're talking about the last time the Dodgers got shut out and lost this bad. Kind of crazy. A historic loss for the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium. Pearson, the new pitcher for the Cubs. Betts will hit this to center field to Curl Armstrong. Fly ball out. 1 out. It was against the Cincinnati Reds. Pete Rose was part of the Cincinnati Reds team. He had a couple homers in that game. It's the last time that the Dodgers lost this bad at home. The late great Pete Rose, had a couple home runs. Kind of crazy. As Kike Hernandez is the batter, he'll take a ball outside. 1-0 pitch is upstairs, made the count 2-0. Most of the fans have left Dodger Stadium. I would say probably a quarter of the fans still there in this 16-0 rout. Let's see if the Dodgers can get a run, though. Maybe they won't get shut out, right? Home run here, Kike Hernandez, always a threat at the plate. Maybe he'll get one out here. Count is 2-1. This next pitch will be popped up. Very high up in the air. Third baseman Shaw's got it. 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth. Batter will be Chris Taylor now. And the Cubs have been, a pretty competitive team, right? So far early in the year, they've had a lot of offense, right? The Kyle Tucker pickup, Justin Turner pickup was big. First swing by Chris Taylor's swung on a miss. Although Justin Turner's not an everyday player with the Cubs, but he's still going to be part of this team, and I think will play a valuable role for sure. 0-1 pitch to Taylor is going to be hit to right field. It will drop for a base hit. So runner on, bottom of the ninth, 2 outs. Taylor on base. That's Taylor's first hit of the year, if I'm not mistaken. Conforto, the batter for the Dodgers. 0 for 3 today. Cubs an out away. First pitch to Conforto is going to be hit to left field. Haps got it. Cubs win 16-0. Dodgers fall to 11-5. Cubs improve to 10-7. And rough loss today for the Dodgers for sure. It's going to be talked about for sure that Miguel Rojas coming in, infielder, to pitch the last 2 innings. We'll see what the Cubs have to say about that. They didn't look too happy. But thanks to everybody for watching today. Appreciate Jasper, Michael, Brian, Cesar, Callie. Appreciate everybody for watching today's broadcast. And, we're going to do the post game in a bit, but make sure to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And we'll be back tomorrow for more Dodger baseball.